Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. Decided since I always do these things in the morning, I decided maybe I'll do one prime time just to be different. Um, so that's what we're going to go for. We are in the Metrodome in Minnesota. It's another game on the June 6th docket, game number 370 overall in the replay. It's the Texas Rangers and the Minnesota Twins. Good pitching matchup. Charlie Huff against Frank Viola. Metrodome is very hitter friendly. Singles 16 for left, 13 right, and 11 both ways on the left and right for the home runs. Although my diamonds are looking worse and worse as I draw them. Anyway, enough of that. Our pitching matchup, a good one, Charlie Huff and Frank Viola. Viola comes to the game 5-3. Huff comes to the game 8-2. Difference in the control in the run game, however, Viola is going to be a -5, and Huff's going to be a +1. Hello, Clinton. Good to see you. Hello, Ben. Oh, don't tell me we're getting circles in the sand right away here. Hopefully this thing clears up. That's what I get for trying to do a prime time game when everybody else is using the internet. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll come back without any problems. Minnesota comes to the game 25-28. Texas 23-27. Viola on the real season was 17-10 with a 290 earned run average. And on the replay, he is 5-3 with a 2.45 ERA. His wild pitch rating's a 1. His balk is a 2. Charlie Huff's wild pitch is an 8. His balk is a 13. And Slot has a very high 16 pass ball rate. Got to be careful of that as well. All right. Jerry Brown, the governor, will lead things off for the Texas Rangers. On the replay, Brown is hitting .267, a homer and 9 driven in. He hit .271 real world. There is no ceremonial first sip because this is not the morning, so I'm not drinking coffee, so there is no ceremonial first sip. We just move on right along and get this game underway. 3-5, Brown, a switch hitter against the lefty Viola, will ground it to short, and that's Greg Gagne. He'll make the play, 1 away. Very easy out there for Viola. And here comes Scott Fletcher, the shortstop. Fletcher, on the replay, is hitting .308, a homer and 30 driven in. He hit .287 real world. It's a 5-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to second, and that's going to be Al Newman making that play. So 2 easy ground outs for Viola to start the ball game. And here comes the tough-hitting Ruben Sierra. He is hitting .296 on the replay, 16 homers, 38 driven in. He hit .263 real world with 30 homers. Switch hitter batting right-handed, 6-5. That's a fly out to center field, and Kirby Puckett snags it easily. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Viola. Nothing doing for the Rangers. Bobby Valentine not very happy, but got a long way to go. And here comes the knuckleballer, Charlie Huff. Huff is 18-13 in the real season with a .379 earned run average. On the replay, is 8-2 with a 2.84 ERA. So he's doing significantly better on the replay. Going to be facing Al Newman to start things off for the Twins. Newman hitting .258, no homers, 9 driven in. He hit .221 real world. Switch hitter will bat left-handed. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Huff. That knuckleball was dancing. And he takes care of Newman. 1 down. Here's Dan Gladden, left fielder. Gladden hitting .250 on the replay. 4 homers, 14 driven in. He hit .249 real world. So he's 1/100th of a point off of his real world numbers. 1-8, and that is a base on balls. So Dan Gladden will draw the walk, and he might be looking to get the lead. It is a +1 ratio between Slot, who's a +1, and Huff, who's a 0. So if he gets the lead, you're looking at a 1-16. That's very good odds. So 4 through 6 to get that lead, and he doesn't get it. So he'll hold, as Huff was able to keep him close. Here comes Kirby Puckett. He's hitting .314 on the replay. 9 homers, 27 driven in. He hit .332 real world. 4-3. It's a fly ball left field X. That's Incaviglia. That could be an adventure. He's a 4 E16 for Incaviglia. 4 and a 4. That double die is not going to cooperate early on. 4 and a 4 is going to probably be a double. And it is a double 2 stars. That is a total of 12. And he is an E16. There's a 12. There's a 2 base error on top of it, so that's going to clear the bases. A double by Puckett and a 2 base error by Incaviglia. And that brings home Gladden. No RBI for Puckett on that error because he would have stopped at third. But the E7 will send Puckett all the way home. 2-0 Twins. That was a terrible exchange there for the Rangers. That's what you get for playing Incaviglia in left field. He is definitely a liability. So let's put this in the computer so I can get this straight. Oops, missed a double plus error. And everybody scores. 2-0. Here comes Kent Herbeck. He is hitting .309 on the replay. 15 homers, 41 driven in. Hit .285 real world. Huff trying to recover from what he just saw. 3-7, and that's a walk. So maybe a little tentative. His second walk. And Herbeck won't go anywhere. Here's Gary Gaetti, third baseman, hitting .251 on the replay. 13 homers, 48 driven in. He hit .257 real world. That's a 112, and that's a foul out to Mr. Slot for out number 2. 2 down, and now all he has to do is get Gene Larkin out to get out of the inning, does Huff. Try to minimize the damage to 2 runs, keep his team in the game. Because against Viola, runs might be at a premium. Larkin on the replay hitting .351 in just 37 at-bats. He hit .266 in 233 at-bats real world. That's a .411 switch hitter. We're back to Incaviglia again. Fly ball left field X. So Incaviglia gets a second chance at redemption. But the double die is just not helping him out at all. 4 and a 5 is going to be a single 2 stars, so it won't score the run unless there's an error. Herbeck will take third, and now we're checking for the error. That's a 6, and he is an E16. E6, and there's a 6. That's the second error of the inning on Incaviglia, and that will score the run. No RBI given once again. And going to second base is Larkin on another E7. So 2 errors in the inning on Incaviglia. And Bobby Valentine about ready to pull his hair out. Here's Tom Bernansky. Bernansky on the replay hitting .271, 7 homers, 22 driven in. He at .259 real world. That's a 2. So it could be in difficulty here as well. That's a 4. We're going to the pass ball rating on Slot, which is a 16. And that will be a pass ball to send him to third base. So to say that this is ugly for the Rangers is probably an understatement. Runner at third now, 2 outs. Bernansky in the clutch. Let's see. Looks like he loses a hit on 1-2. Everywhere else he's neutral. So 210, and that's low. Look at this. Bernansky 210. That's a no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That one is gone for Tom Bernansky. As clean as can be. Right there in big bold letters, 210. Home run number 8 for Bernansky. RBIs 23 and 24. Wow. So that basically makes all these runs are actually going to be earned. Incredibly. Home run number 8, RBIs 23 and 24. It is now a 5-0 ball game. And Huff is tired in the first inning. Go figure. 5-0, and they say he's tired already, which I don't believe, but whatever. Here's Greg Gagne. Gagne hitting .371, 5 homers, 26 driven in. Hit .265 real world. 1-8, and that's a 1-7 home run. That's a 15. He'll settle for a double. And the Twins are going to send 9 to the plate at least. With 2 outs, here comes Tim Laudner, number 9 hitter. He had his catching gear on thinking he wasn't going to hit. Now he's got to get rid of all that and step to the plate. He's got a clutch situation again. He gains a hit on 3-3 and 2-5 in the clutch. That's a 6-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. Much better defender. McDowell was a 3-E-5. 3 and 15 is good. E5 and an 11 shouldn't be a problem. It is not. McDowell makes the catch. Twins send 9 to the plate and throw a 5 spot on Texas Rangers and poor old Charlie Huff. So we go to the second inning. It is 5-0 Twins. I was hoping for a good game here, and there's still 8 innings to go. But boy, when you've got Viola on the mound, that's going to be a tough ask to come all the way back. I'll go to the box score. I believe all these runs are going to be earned. They are, because the errors just moved people up on the bases, did not put them on the bases. So all those runs are earned, as it turns out. So here's Frank Viola. He's going to come back out, and who gets to lead off the inning? You watch a lot of games, and the guy makes a great defensive play and leads off the next inning. Well, this is the polar opposite. He makes 2 errors, and now he leads off. Now he leads off the inning. So Incaviglia hitting 241, 9 homers, 29 driven in the replay. Hit 271 real world. 210, and boy, he's going to redeem himself a little bit. 210 is a solid home run for Pete Incaviglia, and the ball is flying out of the Metrodome tonight. 210, home run, Incaviglia, home run number 10 on the replay. He hit 27 real world. Home run number 10, RBI number 30. And it cuts the lead to 5-1. So maybe a slight bit of redemption for Incaviglia. And here is Pete O'Brien. O'Brien hitting 307 on the replay. 9 homers, 28 driven in. He hit 286 real world. Lefty-lefty matchup. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. Viola gets the first K of the ball game. And here's Larry Parrish. Parrish, the designated hitter, hitting 214, 8 homers, 26 driven in. He had 268 real world. 4-9, and that's going to be a walk. So Viola, his first free pass that he issues. Parrish, no threat to run. And here comes the catcher, Don Slot. Slot hitting 252 on the replay, 6 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 224 real world. First havoc roll of the game for Viola. Nothing happening. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a 1-16 single. That's an 8, so it's base hit 1 star. I was kind of expecting a nice pitching matchup, but this is looking like a hitter's fest early on. Here comes Odabe McDowell with runners at first and second and 1 out. McDowell on the replay, a little struggling a bit. 210 on the replay, 3 homers, 12 driven in. Hit 241 real world. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Viola, which is a 2. And there is no balk, so he will step back in and pitch to McDowell. That's a 4-5, lefty-lefty, and that's trouble. 1-9 is a double. That's a 10. It'll be a single 2 stars. Parrish will score to cut the lead to 5-2. Slot will take third base. The old single 2-star routine cuts the lead to 5-2. McDowell might be looking to get a lead. A 4 through 6. I'm sorry, a 4 or a 6 will get him the lead. 4 or a 6. 4 or a 6, but he does not get the lead, so he'll hold. Number 9 man, Steve Buechele, hitting 250 on the replay. 7 homers, 26 driven inning at 237 real world. Infield back for the double play. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll all of that. 6-8, and that's a fly ball right field B, sacrifice fly from Steve Buechele. Cuts the lead to 5-3 as Slot trots home. 5-3 ball game. Didn't take long for Texas to get back into this thing. And back to the top of the order for Jerry Brown. McDowell at first, 2 outs. Havoc, nothing happening. 2-6 against a lefty. Ground ball to short. That's going to finally end the inning. 3 runs for the Rangers. And they've trimmed that lead to 5-3, giving Charlie Huff a little bit of hope. And maybe they won't. Maybe Huff will make it where the Twins won't hit the ball to Incaviglia today. Maybe go 1 inning without a play in left field. So bottom of the second we go. Al Newman back to his leadoff spot. He struck out his first chance. 2-6, and that's going to be a pop out to first. O'Brien will take it on away. That'll send up Dan Gladden. He walked and scored his first trip. That's a 6-9, and that is a fly to center. McDowell will take care of it. So Huff pitching much better. Here's Puckett. It's a 3-9 for Puckett, and that's going to be a fly to center. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Charlie Huff as he comes back and tries to right the ship. At the end of 2, it is still 5-3. Favor the Twins. Viola back out. We'll be facing Fletcher, Sierra, and Incaviglia to start the third. In this 5 to, yeah, I don't know why is this thing doing this? Hold on, let me see if I can do something here. Maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, there we go. All righty, here is Scott Fletcher. It's still doing it. I don't know why it's doing it. Why am I getting all this stuff up there? It's ridiculous. All right, here is Fletcher. 2-8, maybe it'll go away. 2-8. That's a single to right field for Fletcher. Single for Fletcher. Fletcher with Viola's -5. He's not going to try to go anywhere. They will hold him, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Ruben Sierra. Hopefully there's no bots here. I'm hoping not. 2-9 against the lefty. That's a ground ball shortstop A. That's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop. 643 double play. If you're in the Pennsylvania area, be sure to stop by Giovanni's Tailor Shop. And no, I am not getting any commissions from Giovanni's Tailor Shop for the promo. Here's Incaviglia now with 2 outs and the bases cleared. 3-6, and that's a base on balls. So this time, Viola didn't want to deal with Incaviglia, so he figures the base is empty. A walk's not going to hurt him. They will hold Incaviglia on, but he won't go anywhere. Not with that -5 out there. So here's Pete O'Brien. Struck out his first chance. 6-6, and he's going to strike out again. So Frank Viola has 2 strikeouts, both of them Pete O'Brien. So we'll go to the bottom of the third. Still 5-3. It looks like the graffiti has stopped. So maybe we can get back to some serious baseball here. Here's Kent Herbeck. That's a 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Huff. Boy, Huff has definitely righted the ship as he takes care of Herbeck. Here's Gaetti. It's a 4-4, and that's going to be another strikeout for Huff. Boy, he just got that knuckleball. All of a sudden, it's starting to dance a little bit. And here's Gene Larkin. Maybe in the dome it doesn't dance as well. I don't know, but it seems to be doing all right now. Larkin 3-3, and he's going to pop it up to first. So that is 7 in a row now retired by Huff after that horrendous first inning. So we played 3 here at the Dome. Score remains 5-3 Twins. Thought it was going to be an explosion. Now it's kind of tailed off a little bit. It'll be Parrish, Slot, and McDowell due up in the top of the 4th. Tomorrow morning we will have game 371 of this replay. We'll be in California at Anaheim Stadium for the Chicago White Sox against the California Angels. That'll be at 9 o'clock Eastern, roughly. Here's Larry Parrish. in the AM. 4-8. And that's a strikeout for Viola. Strikeout number 3. There's a dot there, but of course he's not tired. Here's Slot. 3-9 against the lefty, and that's a base on balls. So another walk. Third one issued by Viola. He's struck out 3 and walked 3. Slot, no threat to run, will not be held. And that brings up O-Matic McDowell. 3-4 for McDowell, lefty. That's a ground ball first base A. It's not a tailor-made double play, but it's a double play nonetheless. 3-6-3 ends the inning. Nicely turned by Herbeck and Gagne. Pitcher's best friend ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 5-3. So it looks like it's settled into maybe some consistent pitching. It'll be Brunansky, Gagne, and Laudner. Brunansky homered his first time up. 6-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. McDowell is a 3-E5. 3-16 is good all day long. E5 and an 8 is also good all day long, so McDowell will make the play. And as long as you don't let him hit it too inconvenient, he should be fine. Because Sierra and McDowell are good fielders. Here's Gagne. 2-11 for Gagne, and he's going to be plunked by a knuckleball, so I'm sure he barely felt that, but it is going to go down in the books as a hit by pitch. Gagne is aboard. Would he try to run? He's going to try to get the lead. Needs a 2 through 6 to get the lead. At an 8, he is automatically picked off. 10, he can't get the lead, so he's going to stand pat. And here's Tim Laudner, catcher. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. Oh, is that bot back again? Am I still getting those little hearts or something? They're coming up out of nowhere? I don't know. It's really weird. Here's Laudner, 3-7, and that's a strikeout for Huff, his 4th. So 2 away, and back to the top of the order for Al What Me Worry Newman. Newman is 0 for 2. He better worry about getting a hit. 3-7, and he's going to pop it up to third. Buechele is there, and that's going to do it. We go to the 5th. It's still 5-3. So if nothing else, Huff is eating some innings and saving that Texas bullpen from having to work an overload. And here is Buechele. Buechele he's actually has not had an official at bat. He had a sacrifice fly his first time up. 2-4, and that is a line out right to Mr. Gaetti. 1 away. 1 down. And that will send up Jerry Brown. Brown is 0 for 2. He's grounded to shortstop twice. That is a 6-5. Switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a fly out to Puckett. 2 away. 2 up, 2 down for Scott Fletcher. Fletcher is 1 for 2. 3-11, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. And in Metrodome, it's pretty good for a base hit. 1-13. That's a 12. That'll count. Fletcher now 2 for 3. That was a Metrodome base hit. Fletcher will be held but won't go anywhere. And here is Ruben Sierra. Sierra 0 for 2, including hitting into a double play. 4-8, switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Viola. And that'll do it for the Rangers. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 5-3. It's been that way since the 2nd inning. Here is Dan Gladden. 3-7, and he's going to strike out. So Huff with strikeout number 5. Sometimes you get a little tired. The knuckleball supposedly works better. I don't know. But maybe that's the case. Here's Puckett. 4-7. That's ground ball second base X. We're looking at the governor, Jerry Brown. He's a 3E16. 3 and an 11 should be okay. It's either a 9 or 11. I can't tell which one it is, but it doesn't matter. They're both going to be good. So it doesn't really matter at that point. That is an 11, and he is an E16. There is no 11, so it's good play for Jerry Brown. Takes care of Puckett. 2 away. And except for the hit by pitch, Mr. Huff is now retired. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 in a row except for that hit by pitch. That's the only blemish in the last 13 batters is the hit by pitch. Here's Herbeck. 5-8, and that's another strikeout. There's a dot there that says he's tired, so that means that strikeout is not going to count. We're going to count that as a base hit because the dot took that away. And my rule is that if a pitcher is fatigued and he hits the dot, he's got to come out. So that's going to do it for Charlie Huff. He was rolling along so well, but he's going to end up going 4 2/3, which is still more than I thought he would get after that first inning. But he's going to go 4 2/3, and the Rangers will go to their bullpen. And they've got 4 arms out there that are healthy and ready to go. So they're going to send Jeff Russell out on the mound, right-hander. They've got Russell, Mahorsic from the right side, and they have from the left side, they have the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, and they also have Ron Meredith. So 2 righties and 2 lefties are available out of their bullpen. And they'll go to Russell. Russell, on the real season, 5-4 with a 4.44 ERA and 3 saves. On the replay, he's 2-0 with a 3.65 ERA and no saves. 12 innings pitched, 11 hits, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. So he's pretty well rested in their bullpen, so he should be able to give him a couple innings. He's got a relief rating of 3, so he should be able to get out of this inning and maybe give him 2 more, perhaps. So here's Gaetti, and I don't know why this stuff keeps happening on that little heart thing, but whatever. It's got a mind of its own. Oh, it didn't go through. Let's redo this. That one red D6 held up there. Russell to Gaetti, 2-8, and that's a strikeout. That's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there. And now we'll go to the box score and get the final numbers on Charlie Huff. Close the book on Huff. And Huff officially 4 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned. 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. And he's on the hook to drop to 8-3 unless the Rangers can come back to tie this game, which is not going to be easy against Frank Viola. We start at the top of the 6th. It'll be Incaviglia, O'Brien, and Parrish due up. Incaviglia homered and walked. That's a 2-3. And that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Mr. Viola. 1 away. For Pete O'Brien, who he has struck out twice already. And he's also the only left-handed, him and McDowell, the only 2 lefties in the lineup. 2-11, and that's a pop out to first. Easy play for Herbeck. 2 down. For Larry Parrish. So all the scoring is taking place in the bottom of the 1st and top of the 2nd. Other than that, really not much happening. 1-8, and that's another strikeout. This one, number 6 for Viola. Shutting down the Rangers, keeping the score at 5-3. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Russell back out. He struck out Gaetti for his only appearance in the 5th inning. Now he starts the 6th inning fresh with Larkin, Brunansky, and Gagne. 4-7. Switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball second base X. We're back to Jerry Brown. 3E16 for Jerry Brown. Oh, 3 and a 1. The double die didn't come through for Jerry Brown this time. It's a base hit. We'll check for an error. That's an 11, and he's an E16. There is no 11, but the 3 and the 1 is definitely a base hit. So Larkin is aboard. He will not be held, but he's on. And that'll bring up Brunansky. Brunansky has homered and fly to center. 111, and that is a fly to center. Out number 1. Almost had the Lomax there, but not quite. 1 away for Greg Gagne, who has the only cycle in my replay history. All the years I've been doing replays, he's the only guy who's managed to pull that feed off, and he did it in this replay not that long ago. Here's Gagne. 2-9, and that is a ground ball shortstop B. It'll be a fielder's choice, 6-4. If I remember correctly, he had to get the double. The double was the last one he had to get, and he got it. He already had the triple homer and single, but the double was the last one to come along. Here's Laudner. Russell to Laudner. 1-7. That's a strikeout to end the inning. So Russell's keeping things tight. It's still a 5-3 ball game. With Texas's offense, anything can happen. Only 2 runs down, so it's certainly not over. We are in the 7th inning, so now that means pinch hitting is going to be allowed going forward if they feel the call for it. Right now, Slot, McDowell, and Buechele, I think they're going to stick with what they've got. 4-5, and that's going to be a base hit. 1-17 is a double, 18-20 is a single. There's a double for Don Slot, a leadoff double, and this is the fatigue inning for Viola, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But Don Slot, a leadoff double, and now the tying run is at the plate, and Oddibe McDowell. 4-12 against the lefty. It's a ground ball first base C. That'll get Slot to third. Herbeck's only play was to flip it to Viola covering, so they can at least get the out. But the runner does go to third with 1 out. And with a 2-run lead, they're going to play back. They don't want to give up a big inning, so they will play back. And if they ground out and score runs, so be it. They need the out. Here's Buechele. 2-8 for Buechele. It doesn't matter where they played. 1-19 is a double. That's another double for Buechele. Cuts the lead to 5-4, and now the Twins bullpen is active. Now a 5-4 ball game. Top of the order for Jerry Brown. Let's look at the Twins bullpen and see who they've got that's got the most rest. Well, a little early for Jeff Reardon, so they're looking at their middle relief. And middle relief wise, Keith Atherton, a right-hander, and Alan Anderson, a lefty, are both loosening in the bullpen. But right now, Viola's going to try to bear down on Jerry Brown. 2-9, and that's going to be a base on balls, and I think that makes Viola now tired, if I'm not mistaken. The computer will probably verify that, and it just did. So that may be all for Viola. In fact, I think it is. Scott Fletcher is 2 for 3 off of Viola, so Twins will go to their bullpen for Keith Atherton. Viola was rolling along and then just kind of got tired in the 7th inning. So Keith Atherton will come on. And we can't close the book on Viola because he could still lose this game. He could win it, but he could still lose it as well. So Tom Kelly going to the bullpen for Keith Atherton, the right-hander. On the regular season, Atherton, 7-5, 4.54 ERA and 2 saves. On our replay, he's 1-5 with a 9.19 ERA and 3 saves. So he has had some rough outings, to say the least. But they need him to get Fletcher and Sierra. That's his job right now. Runners at first and second, 1 out. They could really use a tailor-made double play right about now. 3-2. They get a pop up to short. That's almost as good because the runners don't advance. Now it brings it to a clutch situation for Ruben Sierra, who is 0 for 3. You could say he's definitely past due. But now he gets turned around bat left-handed. He had been hitting right-handed against Viola. Now he gets bat left-handed. In the clutch against right-handers, though, he will lose a hit on 3-4. Everywhere else he is neutral, but he will lose a hit on that 3-4. Atherton to Sierra. That's a 4-7. Switch hitter batting left, and that's a ground ball second base X. Nobody was being held on, so Newman will keep his 3E10 rating. 310 rating for Newman. That's a 12, so he should be able to get to that. 3 and a 12 is a G2, but the 15 might be a little problematic. He's an E10. E10 was 16, 17, and 18 are errors, but not a 15. So nice play by Jerry Brown to get the Twins out of the inning and maintain that lead. And now Viola can still qualify for the win if the Twins don't lose the lead. He would still be the pitcher record for the win as Atherton gets out of the mess. Fine relief work by Atherton. So now we go to the box score and get the totals on Viola. Clean up his night. He will go 6 1/3. Give up 7 hits and 4 runs, all earned. Walk 4, strike out 6, but he is in line to be the winner if the Twins never lose the lead. All right, bottom of the seventh inning stretch time, but we're just going to keep going because there's no coffee to reheat. It'll be the top of the order: Newman, Gladden, and Puckett. Newman, Gladden, and Puckett. Due up. Hello, Justin. Good to see you. Newman, 111 is going to be a ballpark single check. 1-16. That's a 19, though, so he will line it to second. Bad break there for Newman. Even the Metrodome couldn't get him a hit with a 19 on the D20. So there's one away for Dan Gladden. 4-6, and that's going to be a base on balls. First one issued by Russell. Russell is a +1 on his hold, so that's going to make him a +2. I even forgot to put him over here. So he's a +2 on the hold, so Gladden will be looking to get a lead. Needs a 4, 5, or 6 to obtain the lead. Does not get it, so he can't go anywhere. Here's Kirby Puckett. So 4-10, and that's going to be a 1-3 triple. A 4, though, is a double. It's assumed to go to center field. Gladden was being held, makes him a 16. McDowell's a -1, be a 15. 1-15, they will send him, and Rangers will throw to the plate, which means Puckett will take third on the throw regardless. But it's a 1-15 to score Gladden. And he's in there. So RBI double for Kirby Puckett, and he takes third on the throw. But you were already down by 1. You couldn't just give up a free run there. So kind of had to throw through. Twins get one of those runs back and lead it 6-4. And now with a runner at third and 1 out, Kent Herbeck is your batter. It could walk Herbeck, set up a double play with Gaetti. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to intentionally walk Herbeck and try to get the double play on Gaetti, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Russell to Gaetti. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. They have a chance. Shortstop is Fletcher, 3E26. They got the ground ball he wanted, but can he make the play? 3E26. 3-13. Not sure if that's a G1 or not. 3-13 is a G2. It will not be a double play. That's an 11, and he's an E26. No error there, but it will not be a double play. It'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice. And that will score the run to make it 7-4. RBI ground out from Gaetti. So they got the ground ball they wanted, but Fletcher couldn't make the play that was needed. It is now 7-4. And here's Gene Larkin. Hello, DJ from the left coast. DJ, what do you guys do on the left coast for New Year's? Because I know, all the shows are in New York or whatever, and it's midnight Eastern. It's only 9 on the West Coast. Do you guys celebrate when it's 9 o'clock New Year's Eve, or wait until it's midnight your time to celebrate? Because it would seem kind of weird to me to do that. But I've only lived on the East Coast, so I don't know any other way. Here's Larkin, 5-10. That's a strikeout to end the inning. But 2 runs come in. It is now a 7-3 ball game. That might be all for Russell. Then again, they might go ahead and have him finish it up to save the rest of the bullpen. We'll have to wait and see. Atherton back out. He retired the 2 batters he faced in the 7th. So he's going to be facing Incaviglia, O'Brien, and Parrish. Oops. Top of the 8th, 7-3 Twins. As the Twins try to edge a little closer to those first place Oakland A's. So you celebrate at 9 p.m., just keep it going. Okay, that makes sense to me. All right, here is Incaviglia. I didn't know, maybe I thought they might tape delay it and show it to you guys 3 hours after the fact or something. I don't know. Here is Incaviglia, 3-2. And that's going to be a ground ball to short, where Mr. Gagne will take care of it. 1 down. Oh, they did get a run in the 7th. Thank you for pointing that out. I think I had a 0. I had it blank, and I was wondering why it was blank. And then I said, you know what? I forgot to put something there. Let me put a 0 there. And you are correct. They did get a run in the 7th. It's actually 7-4, not 7-3. I thought something sounded weird about that. Where's my little correction tape? Where did that go? I had it. Oh, there it is. Went way back here. Let me fix that. Thank you for pointing that out, Kevin. Thank you very much. It is 7-4, not 7-3, and that's what's on the computer as well. 7-4 is the score. So Incaviglia will ground to short, and that's going to bring up Pete O'Brien. O'Brien is glad to see Viola out of the game. He was 0-for-3 against Viola. 6-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're back at Gagne. Gagne is a 224. 2-4, iffy, but he probably gets to it. Yep, he sure does. It's a pound sign, but nobody's on base to be held, so it's irrelevant. That's a 7. Gagne is a 24. There's a 6, but no 7. So Gagne will make the play. And so far, good work done by Atherton. He has retired all 4 he has faced. Here's Larry Parrish. If it stays 7-4 into the top of the 9th, though, I believe that they would bring in Reardon for the save. Here's Parrish. 4-11, and that is a ground ball pitcher X. Atherton is an E18. The computer says he's a 3 E18 because the cards don't have the range on it. So it's a 3 E18. 3-14 is good. E18 and an 8 for a pitcher. E18, there is no 8. 3 and 18 is a G. I'm sorry, 3 and 18 is a G1. Nobody's on base to worry about. Just a 1-3 ground out. And that will end the inning. So, boy, Atherton retired all 5 he has faced. Look about getting a shot in the arm there. He had been struggling, but he'd been got well in this game, apparently. So they're going to go ahead and let Russell keep going. He's not tired yet. And maybe it saves some of their arms in the bullpen. Here's Bernansky. 6-10 against Russell as a catcher. That is going to be Slot. He's a 3 E10. Nobody's on base, so you don't have to worry about any wild pitches or anything. 3 and an 8 for a catcher. 3 and an 8 for a catcher is a pop out here. No pass ball to worry about. It's just going to be a pop out chance. That's an 8. He's an E10. And catcher E10, and there is no 8, so it is going to be a pop out to Don Slot for out number 1. So if the Rangers can get through this game with only one relief pitcher used, they'll feel very fortunate. Here's Gagne. 1-4, and that's a fly to center. McDowell is there, 2 down. Almost hate to bring in Reardon, though, because Atherton's pitching so well. Here's Laudner. 6-2 against Russell is a fly ball to center field, and that will end the inning. And that will do it for Russell for sure. Russell's going to go 3 1/3 innings and do very well for himself. We go the 9th. Score still 7-4. Get the numbers on Russell from the computer. We can close the book on Russell. Russell's 3 1/3, 2 hits and 2 runs. He walked 2, struck out 3. All right, so let's see who's coming up for the Rangers. It's scheduled to be Slot, McDowell, and Buechele, but I believe we're going to get a pinch hitter for Slot. In fact, I know we will. So Slot will be removed, and they will go with Gino Petralli, switch hitting catcher that hit .302 on the season. And if it goes to the bottom of the 9th, he would stay in the game to catch. So Petralli, a switch hitting catcher, will be on to pinch hit for Mr. Slot. And then he's followed by McDowell and possibly a pinch hitter for Buechele. Buechele hit .237 on the season, but they may want to go for better hitting. On the bench, they do have Bob Brower, who hit .261. Kurt Wilkerson hit .268. So it looks like Wilkerson probably will, unless they need a home run. If the first 2 guys get on and they need a home run, Buechele's got the power and probably a better chance at a home run. But so we'll wait and see how they want to play it. But right now, they're looking at Gino Petralli to be the pitcher. But coming in to try to secure the save will be Jeff Reardon. Kind of hate taking Atherton out. He went inning and 2/3 and gave up nothing. Reardon coming on now. He is a +1 on the hold. So we'll bring Reardon in on the computer and see what he's done on the replay. And also bring in Petralli to pinch hit for Slot. So let's look at a couple different things. First of all, Petralli, .302 on the real season with 7 home runs. On the replay, Petralli is hitting .268 with no home runs. Jeff Reardon, 8-8 with a .448 ERA and 31 saves on the real season. On the replay, he's 3-1 with 8 saves and a 3.12 earned run average. So Reardon facing Petralli. And I'm going to move this over here because I'm losing the cards on the edge of the score sheet. So we'll bring the cards over here. Gino Petralli facing Jeff Reardon. Top of the 9th, 7-4 ball game. 3-4, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-16, and that's a base hit for Petralli. Gino Petralli with a leadoff single, courtesy of the Metrodome. Here's O-B McDowell. That's a 5-8, and that is a ballpark blast for McDowell. He has normal power. That's a 15, and he needed an 11 or less. It's only a 15, so a deep fly to right, but boy, he just missed it. 1 away, and now, since a home run won't tie the game, they will go ahead and pinch hit for Buechele with Kurt Wilkerson, a switch hitter. And he would stay in the game to play third if it goes to the bottom of the 9th. Kurt Wilkerson, switch hitter, hit .268 on the real season. Let's see what he's done on the replay. Mr. Wilkerson. On the replay is hitting .241, a homer and 2 driven in. So the switch hitter, Kurt Wilkerson, stepping up. Trowley at first. 1 out. It's 1-4, and that's a look at that. It's a solid triple. You don't see many players with straight out triples on their card, but Bobby Valentine pulled the right trigger here, and that is an RBI triple for Kurt Wilkerson in the pinch. Pinch hit triple for Wilkerson. And that cuts the lead to 7-5. Tying run is now at the plate in the form of Jerry Brown. And Jerry Brown is 0 for 3 with a walk. The infield is back because this run doesn't mean anything. It's the run at the plate that matters. So they will play back with 1 out. It's a 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check, and that will be a base hit. Base hit for Jerry Brown cuts the lead now to 7-5, or 7-6 rather. And now Brown is the tying run on base. Reardon at +1 hold rating. So if he decides to try to get the lead, in fact he will, he's going to try for it. Needs a 2, a 4 through 9 to get the lead. 11 he's picked off. A 9 he gets the lead, he's going to go. He's a 15, being held makes him a 13, but the +1's a 14. 1-14, and Jerry Brown steals second base. And he's in there, stolen base, Jerry Brown. Now the tying run is in scoring position with only 1 out. Reardon starting to struggle. Brown with good, pretty decent speed. He will not be held at second, though. They don't want those pluses getting through, those pound signs on the X chances getting through. They want to have the infield back deep enough to knock something down. Here's Fletcher. 6-9, and that's a strikeout from Reardon, a big one. Out number 2. It's all come down to this. Ruben Sierra. Clutch situation for Sierra. The tying run is in scoring position at second base. Sierra in the clutch loses that 1 hit on 3-4, but it's mano y mano, Jeff Reardon and Ruben Sierra. That's a 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. They were not holding the runner on, so the second baseman, Newman, is a 3-E-10. It's all up to Newman to make the play. He's a 3-E-10 at second base. 3-18, he'll get to it. The E10, but that is a 16. That is trouble. A 16 on an E10 second baseman, and that is a 1 base error on Newman. He boots it because of the 16, and that's going to put runners at the corners. So E4, can't blame Reardon for that one. The ball game should be over. But it's an error on Newman to keep the game going. Now runners are on the corners, and Sierra, decent speed, but they're not going to take a chance to get him getting thrown out to end the game. They will hold him on, but they won't send him. And now it's up to Incaviglia, power against power right here. Pete Incaviglia and Jeff Reardon. 4-4, fly ball center field X, that's Puckett. Puckett is a 1. You know he's going to get to it. It's just the E6 that's the problem, or could be a problem. E6. If we look at the E6, the only errors are 3, 4, and 15 and 18. 3, 4, 15, and 18. Any other result, and the game's over. And the game is over. Puckett runs it down, and the Twins escape. Literally escape this one with a 7-6 victory. Reardon gets the save, albeit a shaky one. And that will do it here from the Metrodome. Twins escape. Might even be an understatement to say that, but they do escape with the win. And Reardon does get the save. It is his 9th of the replay. The win goes to Viola. He is now 6-3. The loss goes to Huff. He is now 8-3. Reardon 1 inning pitched, 3 hits and 2 runs. No walks and a strikeout. Final line score for the Twins, 7 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. For Texas, 6 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors. I'm not sure who the player of the game would be. Puckett, perhaps. He had a couple of doubles and knocked in a couple of runs, so you could throw it his way. Hard to say, but that's probably the best I can come up with on that one. Twins go to 26 and 28, and Texas drops to 23 and 28. So with that victory, let's see where that does for the standings in the AL West. Twins now at 20. I'm sorry, the Twins, yes, rather at 23 and 28. I'm sorry, 26 and 28 have tied Kansas City for fourth place. They are one game behind Chicago and California, who are both 3 games behind Oakland. And Chicago and California will be the game tomorrow at 9 a.m. Chicago and California from California. It'll be Rich Dotson on the mound for the Chicago White Sox and Mike Witt on the mound for the Angels. So another good pitching matchup in store for Friday morning, January the 2nd. And then on Saturday, we will begin the Demolition League 2020 Imagine set. That will start. I did the selection show this afternoon. If you haven't seen that, you can see who the selected teams are. But since then, I've already gone into the Action PC computer, set up the league, set up the schedule, set up the 25-man rosters, set up the rules, and be ready to go on Saturday afternoon for the first game in that replay. It's a total of, I believe, 255 games in that replay. So between that and this, that'll keep me busy for a very long time. And in between those two, I'll be playing some History Maker Baseball using the fictional set, using the Baseball America 2025 set for the Ticonderoga Stooges replay. So basically 3 things will be going on simultaneously, and I'll just play off one off the other and kind of give some variety as best I can. Of course, the one that takes priority is this 87 replay. If I have to let one drag or let one fall behind, it's going to be the other ones. This one's going to stay on schedule because this is my primary. That's the one I'm most passionate about, is this one, because this is the full season replay for the American League, and I want to see how Strat-O-Matic does with these stats on the replay. That is what I'm curious about. So, hope you enjoyed that presentation of the more of a primetime version of the 87 American League. I usually play it live every morning, but for people that are working or whatnot, don't get a chance to see that this take place on a live stream. Thought I would do it tonight just to kind of mix it up a bit. DJ, is there any number less than 0? If I could say a negative, if there's a negative desire, I would include that. But I have no desire. 85, 52, nothing like that. Why they didn't do 79 or 75 is beyond me. They should have learned from 1970 last year. I don't think people were breaking the doors down to get 1970 either. You got people out there dying for 79 and 75, but they won't put it out. I don't think people were really clamoring for 52 either, because quite honestly, most people that do this weren't even born in 52. So the wheelhouse for people our age that do this stuff is the 70s and the 80s. That's our wheelhouse. And they don't have 74, 75, or 79. You got 3 seasons there, any of those 3, but I don't think 74 necessarily is 75, that's, just for the World Series alone, 75 would have been worth it right there, and 79 maybe the same reason. But I don't understand. I don't know who makes those choices, but they need to there's no way in the world they put a poll out, because I know Strat players would have not chosen those seasons in a poll over these other seasons. Some bright genius out there decided to do that. So, but I'm not going to talk bad about Strat, because they did come through with my extra players for the Imagine set. So I said I was not going to talk. I was going to sing their praises for getting those extra cards to me in a timely manner, which they did. 2 days turnaround. I called him about it Monday afternoon, and I got the cards New Year's Eve evening around 7 o'clock. So virtually 48 hours. So it wasn't bad to do that. So that's going to do it from here. Game 370 is in the books. Tomorrow, like I said, it'll be California and Chicago at roughly 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then sometime on Saturday afternoon, probably early afternoon, maybe late morning, I don't know exactly when, we'll have the presentation of, well, I've already done the selection show, but I'll show the 25-man rosters for each of the teams and the schedule and all that good stuff. And then I'm also may throw in another History Maker game over the weekend too. I'm not sure. I have to figure out what's going on. But the final game in this 87 replay for the June 6th date rather, will be tomorrow, California and Chicago. Cleveland and Oakland I will go ahead and play offline and get that out of the way. That's the other game remaining on June the 6th. And then on Monday morning, we'll start fresh with the June the 7th, first game on the June the 7th docket of the 1987 replay. So Happy New Year to you, DJ, and everybody else is watching this. Hope you all had a great New Year and had fun celebrating. I was semi-proud of myself for staying awake till 12:45. I didn't think I'd make it to see the ball drop, but I actually did. Not that it was earth-shattering or anything. It was just kind of neat. I mean, I remember back when I was growing up watching Dick Clark all the time. So I watched ABC just because of that. Not that I care for ABC all that much, but just that that tradition of Dick Clark being the person with the New Year's Eve stuff. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great day tomorrow. I'm not sure if some of you, whether you guys have to go back to work tomorrow or whether I know the missus has to go back to work tomorrow, but I know some people probably took off since the holiday was on a Thursday. A lot of people take off that Friday, just either their business gives them off or they use it as a vacation day or whatever. I used to use it sometimes. I used to roll over vacation from the previous year and take it January 2nd when the holiday fell this way. So, but I don't know where these little heart things are coming from. I have no clue what's causing that. Seems very strange to me, but whatever. Kind of ignore it, I guess. All right, so that's going to do it from here. Hope you have the great rest of your evening. Depending on what's going on with you guys tomorrow, if you're able to hang in there for a 9 a.m. 1987 Strat American League game between California and Chicago, I'll be here. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.